All right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a 2v2 matchup. FoCuS and LawLiet going up against Fortitude, also known as Romantic and Starbuck. FoCuS and LawLiet spawning as the red team. I'm using team colors here just because, well, it's easier on my eyes to figure out what is happening and what's going on. Yeah, FoCuS and LawLiet here. LawLiet is the red Night Elf. Meanwhile, down across here, FoCuS is the red Orc. We have Romantic opening things up with what appears to be the Paladin Rifleman build here. There is that Altar of Kings, there's that Blacksmith, a farm, and then another barracks will be placed down later. Early Peasant on a lumber. Meanwhile, back off to the north here, Starbuck, Great Hall, Burrow, Altar of Storms, barracks all getting set up here. Should be an interesting 2v2 matchup with some great players. Let's hurry up and get to that 2-minute mark where, well, all the action will begin. Alright, so 2v2 with 4 of the best players out there. And, well, let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. Apparently trying to tongue-tie me while I try to open up the roof of my mouth. No. Anyways, yeah, I'll talk about that later. Anyways, LawLiet, okay, we are looking at classic icons. It is going to be Farseer coming across here, Keeper of the Grove coming down as well. It looks as though Spirit Wolves will be making their way through. We'll see if we get the, well, rings of chroma key as we saw in yesterday's cast. Circlet of Mobility going to get picked up there. Some repairs getting placed down onto the Ancient War, and well, clearing up this creep camp and leaving both heroes at level 1. Meanwhile, off to the north side here, Blade Master going to go ahead and try and mirror image creep clear this Murloc Nightcrawler creep camp. Meanwhile, Paladin Rifle with Militia looking to clear out this particular creep camp here. The Paladin quickly getting in some holy lights, trying to heal up some of those peasants, taking down those units. I remember going Paladin first years and years ago, back in the Reign of Chaos day, thinking that early access to healing would be the bigger deal, and then instead it really was all about the Archmage and those water elementals defining the meta for 2 decades. Farseer now coming back through here, going to continue to clear out this creep camp. The Keeper of the Grove and the Farseer are actually working closely together, summoning wolves, summoning Ents, and now we're going to see FoCuS and LawLiet both at level 2 here, and picking up a dark Troll Shadow Priest from that mercenary camp. Blade Master healing salve, still has the Scroll of Town Portal, using up a Clarity Potion, moving out as well as he gets up to level 2. Alright, so Blade Master going to be coming across here. A 2 level 4 creep camp should be easy to clear out, and the Paladin offering support to the Blade Master with those big heals. However, are we going to see a Holy Light on that Rifleman? The Rifleman down to 61 hit points. There's a little bit of a burst heal, but just delaying the inevitable as we're looking at the units continuing to battle it through. Keeper of the Grove may try to get another kill there, summoning up new wolves. There's a Holy Light, but that is a large amount of damage to be had as another Rifleman gets taken out. Keeper of the Grove entangled, coupled with some wolves and some treants, really causing problems as the archer is able to get in another ensnare. Are we going to see yes, another grunt taken out? So 3 supply units getting well picked off here from this fight. There's a Holy Light trying to save a grunt. An archer finally gets taken out the other way, but that entangle seemingly lasting for so long, dealing so much damage. All right. Summoning up units, so incredibly important. They provide power. They're able to do so much here as the Farseer now looks to back away. All right, hero levels, 2.8 on the Farseer. Meanwhile, well, Keeper of the Grove also at 2.8, and if it felt like the Keeper of the Grove seemingly had more mana than usual, that is the case. Already at 435 mana due to the Robe of Magi and that Circlet of Nobility. And then that also increases your mana regeneration rate. Alright, we're looking at the Farseer continuing to push back this, Paladin Rifleman army, but this is just not working out well. The Rifleman cannot be constantly exposed, and now FoCuS and LawLiet are really just pushing his opponents up into a corner. Romantic being forced to retreat back here, and now LawLiet and FoCuS are going to have some time to clear out some more difficult creep camps, get an even further hero level advantage lead as we're looking at this grunt about to get taken down. All right, one grunt out here. Keeper the Grove going to come back around saying, you know what? I have an entangle with your name on it. Well, no name. All right, but a little bit too many units. All right, Keeper the Grove trying to back up here. Nagasiwich shows up to the party. That's quite a bit of damage coming back across here as the Paladin going to continue to fight. Paladin wants to get to level 3. That would be a big deal here. Farseer going to try to come back around. Those odd levels making such a big impact, going from a 200 hit point heal to a 400 hit point heal. And, well, making your mana that much more valuable. Paladin does have has boots of speed here. We're going to see the Shaman get taken out here. Paladin going to come back around, perhaps wishing that the Blade Master wasn't there. That could have given the Paladin level 3. Instead, makes it 5 experience shy. Claws of attack plus 5 given to the Blade Master once more. All right, Red Army making their way down to the south here. Gonna now joined alongside by a Nagasiwich and that Shadow Hunter. It's time for the Shadow Hunter and Nagasiwich to gain experience themselves. As well, here comes a potential Creepjack coming back the other way. It is still Lone Paladin right now, trying to push through. Farseer trying to retreat back here. Dual healing salves on the Shadow Hunter, and a Cloak of Shadow is going to be left behind, picked up by the Paladin here, and perhaps going to try and finish off one of these wolves. Finishing off one of those wolves, and look at that squirrel just scamper away so quickly as another dire wolf about to get taken down there. So that was that little bit of experience that was needed. And now the Shadow Hunter, I believe, this Shadow Hunter could have gone for heal. Did he go for Hexforce or Healing Ray Force? Difficult to tell, as the grunts are now trying to retreat back here. All right, low hit point Blade Master trying to fall back. It looks as though this Dark Troll are going to go ahead and siphon mana in, and no time for Healing Light though. And we were waiting for that, just couldn't get enough mana at all. There's a Holy Light saving right there, as the Blood Mage needs to continue to funnel mana into the Paladin so that the Paladin can hold this army together. It was a Hex coming across from Starbuck, so this Raider is going to be taking quite a bit of damage as the Paladin is still getting more and more mana. All right, the Raider down to 23, going to get down to dead here as they're still doing a little bit of chasing. Are we going to see some ensnares, some hexes, something of that nature? Well, a defensive entangle to try and stop the chase here. Meanwhile, low hit point Dark Troll Berserker gonna get taken out. The Grunt, the Rifleman, perhaps more than enough. Is the Nagasiwich gonna get the last hit? No. The Grunt with the axe gets it done. Now, both sides still sitting on one base. I do not see tier 3. Well, no, we are at tier 3 by LawLiet. And we are now finally going into Ancients of Lore. That's why I wasn't expecting tier 3, since we hadn't seen really any other units aside from those Dryads and that Nagasiwich. So yeah, tech to tier 3, but still hasn't done much yet here. Blade Master gets up to level 3, and well, Blood Mage at level 1 and needs to get more mana and perhaps get more mana and move on out. All right, Farseer looking to dive here. We see the Orc Burrows, no reinforced defenses. This is potentially bad, as the Orc Burrows will take quite a bit of damage here. We see some massive repairs underway. Grunt's now going to be joining in on the battle as well. Scroll of Town Portal inbound. Oh no, that's just the Blade Master. Blade Master going to try and defend here as more units are coming back the other way. Are we going to see more repairs? Starbuck not repairing yet. Grunt still making their way through. Kodo Beast could try and chomp on some units. And here we are, here we go. Kodo Beast trying to dive in. Blade Master going to find one low hit point Grunt, take it down. There goes an ensnare onto a Kodo Beast. That Kodo Beast could get taken down really quickly, but the Riflemen are actually on the wrong side of the battlefield, trying to take down Orc Burrows with reinforced defenses. Yeah, what a difference it is here. Those reinforced defenses making such a drastic difference here. Shaman trying to fight back here as we're still looking at the Nagasiwich. This is a 2-on-1 fight inside this space. Squirrel Town Portal going to come back the other way. Chain Lightning. Paladin joins the party, asks what he missed, and then suddenly sees the Shadow Hunter has been taken down. All right, Blood Mage quickly draining out some mana as well. Nagasiwich could be in some trouble. Nagasiwich gets felled as well. And now, what else is going to get lost here? Siphon mana into the Blade Master. Blade Master could perhaps try and chase down some of those units, as we see, well, a low hit point Grunt. There's a Holy Light. That, well, Grunt will stay alive and survive. But not much damage really done here for FoCuS. FoCuS oversaturated on the Stronghold gold mine, and it needs to pull some off, needs to get another Orc Burrow to train up some units. Meanwhile, coming back around here, we see an ensnare onto a Rifleman. Rifleman quickly getting taken out. And oh, interesting use. Tier 3 Night Elf in order to open up the Orb of Venom. All right, so we see Orb of Venom right there. Is that Grunt going to get finished off? No, he is not. Disappears at 132 hit points as we are now getting level 2 weapon upgrades. Raider going to easily destroy this Arcane Vault on the far side. Units trying to get healed back up. It does not look like Pillage is... No, Pillage is not being... was not researched, so we're not going to see endless hit and run tactics. Naga Sea-Witch picks up a Mantle of Intelligence now. Plus 9 damage. Plenty of hit points as we're looking at a couple of ensnares going down onto LawLiet's archers. Those will be nicely gift wrapped. However, Starbuck may find himself a little bit overextended. Coming back the other way, both armies coming back around here. One Grunt trying to rejoin the group from the wrong side quickly gets taken out as we are looking at, well, some mirror image to create some zoning effects. All right, so this is some nice zoning effects here. The 2 raiders that came in from behind to try and creepjack end up being in the wrong position as the Blood Mage is just acting as the mana battery for the entire teal team, giving mana to not only the Paladin but also the Shadow Hunter while denying it from the opponent. That is going to be absolutely key as we see triple orbs of... Look at the orbs of Venom, Keeper of the Grove, Farseer, Priestess of the Moon, all with orbs of Venom, and that's going to make these big fights with damage over time just tick away. Tick away. All right, we see a couple of ensnares here. More reinforcements. Blade Master, what levels up? You see, it looked like a double level up. It was not. The mirror images level up alongside that primary Blade Master. Dapper Preservation for the save as the Blade Master trying to get a surround onto the Mountain Giant. May be able to do exactly that. All right, Holy Light saving another low hit point Raider. Keeper of the Grove could be gift wrapped here, and that could potentially be a problem. All right, Potion of Greater Healing trying to stick him around in that fight. Paladin and getting a little bit more healing as well as we're going to see a low hit point Grunt. Yes, get taken down. There's level 4 now on the Paladin, which should be level 2 Devotion Aura, making this army that much more difficult to destroy. All right, some big heals, big damage, and we're still pushing on through. Paladin starting to run low on mana, but that could be said pretty much for every single unit out on the battlefield. Staff of Preservation saves the Priestess of the Moon as the Blood Mage now back up to 190 mana, still pushing on carefully. All right, Orb of Venom damage still cannot be ignored, but at the same point and the same time, this fight is just going so well for Starbuck and Romantic / Fortitude. Priestess of the Moon comes back, rejoins in on the battle, does have True Shot Aura, gives a bit of a ranged damage bonus as there's separation here. Rifleman, more siphon mana away. Keeper of the Grove no longer able to cast any more as we see the tactical retreat back, just a quick teleportation as the Arcane Vault is going to get a Scroll of Regeneration going for this entire teal army. All right, we're going to perhaps look at some Ivory Towers to be placed down and get some defense going since the Arcane Vault is here. All right, one Arcane or the Voodoo Lounge has been taken out. Rifleman actually being led away by the triple Night Elf heroes and now teleporting. Are they teleporting back? No, teleporting back home as we're looking at 36 over 50 supply. 55 over 61, 48 over 50. Starbuck and Romantic doing a great job so far as the units are looking to retreat back again. Glad you like the swimming mechanics used in yesterday's game, by the way. No, I was totally surprised. Totally surprised that the little Murloc was able to swim past. I was like, wait a second, something new that I haven't seen. And that's all map-based, right? Map-based, having water on the map and at the same time having mercenaries that could be in water. All right, Mountain Giant's going to get cleaned up here. Siphon mana back from that Farseer. We're looking at the base of FoCuS just whittling away. And Romantic, as long as he's attacking with his units, is going to be able to force fights. We are looking at an expansion now being placed down here by Romantic in the center. And when you're ahead, you just try to get more ahead. And that's exactly what's happening. Keeper of the Grove could have some problems. Is he going to be able to back up here? There's a Hex there. It looks as though Siphon mana and now Staff of Preservation saves there. Now Naga Sea-Witch's turn to be in a little bit of trouble. She's going to get Staff of Preservation back as well. All right, both sides fighting through. Mountain Giants with that massive hit points and medium armor protected from the Rifleman's range as we see Naga's Chain Lightning bursting down one of those shamans there. All right, so home field advantage acting a little bit there as the Priestess of the Moon gets shot down quickly. Riflemen need to continue to focus fire those low hit point units, take them down. And if they can take down these low hit point units and finally finish them off, no, another Staff of Preservation, as the units are just constantly falling further and further back. Without any sort of siege damage, there isn't going to be a real threat onto those buildings at all, as the Kodo Beasts now make their rounds once more. Alright, we do see that there is True Shot Aura on the Paladin. So True Shot Aura on the Paladin, coupled with the Kodo Beasts, coupled with the range upgrades on the Rifleman, and then Devotion Aura. This army of Riflemen is essentially, what, a 4.53 upgraded army. So they have better armor, they have better hit points, and as long as that Kodo Beast is nearby enough, that should be able to do something. Alright, in come some repairs, and well, just trying to get away from those watchtowers. Meanwhile, enemy heroes now going to be diving in onto the far side. Alright, the map is large, so tactically, as long as you're in the right spot, I don't know if Romantic is actually playing the right game now. He is not where his opponents are, as LawLiet now brings the beat down with those hammers, and is going to be able to shut down that town hall. Alright, meanwhile, we're looking at the Blood Mage. Perhaps you're going to trap a couple of grunts on the inside of the base here. The grunts really having nowhere to run, trying to hide in the very far back, every nook and cranny. But yeah, those are just going to end up getting taken down very fast. Coming back through, Lightning Shield, Raiders trying to dive in onto those Mountain Giants, and once more Staff of Preservation and their very fast cooldown making a big difference as their Lightning Shields getting cast down onto those teleportations back home. Meanwhile, Farseer could have a little bit of trouble. There is a Hex onto the Shadowhunter. Shadowhunter, however, survives using the Scroll of Town Portal. Only 35 hit points left. A tactical retreat right there, and being able to save both heroes. Oh, things were not looking good for FoCuS and LawLiet, but Romantic and Starbuck have, even though they've been winning the battles, they haven't been able to find a way to close out the game. Blood Mage is at 3, Paladin is at 4, Blade Master is at 4. I believe the Shadowhunter is at 3. Hero levels very similar, and still no one getting that upper leg just quite yet. As we transition into the later part of the game, armies are established. LawLiet is just trying to make something happen with these Mountain Giants. The Mountain Giants, with their medium armor, do absorb quite a bit of damage, and without any normal damage coming across, without Tauren or something else to actually deal bonus damage against those 1600 hit point Mountain Giants, the Rifleman's damage effect is just not going to work out well. Yeah, they're going to be running in with a bigger army, but not be able to deal nearly as much. Kodo Beasts are off to the side here. Giving in that damage bonus, that's +5 damage overall. Meanwhile, we're looking at, the Priestess of the Moon, Naga Sea Witch, Priestess of the Moon, Keeper of the Grove. The Mountain Giants are, only one of them has the Siege Hammer, and now, perhaps they need to go pick up a little bit more, as we see Starbuck now going in for some massive repairs. This is turning into a base race scenario, and normally, the army that has the more units wins out well, but look at this army composition. This is a beautiful army of Riflemen that can't really do anything. Paladin going to go ahead and teleport back home, try and get in the save. We're going to be looking, are we going to see a Holy Light? Yes, saving up that peasant as they retreat back. There's only about 3 minutes of mining left, though, in the main bases, as the stronghold for Starbuck is about to fall. So Starbuck's stronghold is about to fall here. Level 5 now on the Blade Master. LawLiet is losing all of his buildings, and that could potentially be a problem now. Meanwhile, we do have some spiked barricades. This is going to... yeah, it does deal a little bit of damage back, right? Yeah, it does. Even though it is a range, there is actually range on it, to a range of 250, it is still considered melee for when the Mountain Giant picks up that club. So yeah, it gets a little bit of range, but since it's still considered a melee attack. It's the only ranged melee attack other than, right, everyone else. This actually says melee. Food for thought if you didn't know. If you did know, Well, you've been watching the channel and you know your WarCraft 3 well. Mountain Giants looking to finish off the remainder here. 47 supply for Starbuck, and Starbuck's army of Orc units here. Scroll of Town Portal gonna go ahead and teleport back to the castle, and we'll try and regroup. Owl Scout of LawLiet keeping track of units, and well, we are now down to one base each. No easy way to try and capture or slow down these Mountain Giants as they're going to retreat back home. It is nightfall, so the Mountain Giants are going to have regeneration now, but it's going to be quite some time before they get back up to full hit points, if ever, throughout this match. Alright, Blood Mage, sitting at level 3. We're looking at more clearing of creep camps, just trying to get a little bit of experience. Priestess of the Moon going to go ahead and pick up Rune Bracers, a nice pickup, even if it's just for gold. As the Ursa Warrior here getting pulled on over, perhaps an ensnare. No ensnare? No ensnare. All right, down across here, Blade Master. You can see FoCuS is trying to rebuild or build another base here, trying to get a little bit of gold. There is a lot of towers here as well, and that could work out well. Meanwhile, there's an entangle onto a mirror image as that's going to get cleaned up. All right, where is the engagement going to go through? Rifleman. Oh, quick hex onto the Blood Mage. A Kodo Beast, well, surrounded by Rifleman. That's going to be one quick dead Kodo Beast, as we now see level 4 on the Blood Mage. Quickly going in favor. However, Romantic now finding the right opportunity to get inside here. There's a Chain Lightning moving across, and this could be some bad news. Paladin going to try to get into position here. Blood Mage is just coming across, trying to get as much banish into the base as possible. Mortar team's going to get entangled. This is going to be a major setback as we see a Scroll of Town Portal, a 2-on-1 fight, but the door is kind of shut in an awkward spot, making things tough as Romantic's own base could end up falling here. All right, there's Lightning Shield on the Blade Master. Blade Master going to try to burst its way through, trying to take this down. Rogue Castle now down to 400 hit points. That is a lot of damage. There's Lightning Shield. Well, going to cause a bit of damage here, as that is going to be a tactical retreat back out after sniping down that castle. Lightning Shield, all of those units need to spread around a little bit more, and suddenly FoCuS is the only player with a stronghold and the ability to mine any additional gold, even if it is just long-distance mining. Hey, tuna fish. Not much, not much. Casting some WarCraft 3. All right, 55 over 42. There are peasants here. Both sides are trying to fight, trying to keep their armies alive. Worker counts are, well, sparse, as we are going to be looking at a couple of peons. All of these peons going to get cleaned up by grunts, giving a little bit more experience. Priestess of the Moon still wandering around here. 4-3-2, dual orb or triple orb of venom, and really opening up damage over time. Meanwhile, well, FoCuS is just, well, starting to hoard up a large amount of lumber. Peon's going to get cleaned up down across here. Huh? You want to see the Priestess of the Moon? Yeah, a tiger, a big tiger. My daughter, who likes cats, was like, oh, you said Priestess of the Moon. I want to see the Priestess of the Moon. I'm like, okay, there she is. Okay. Romantic standing by with a couple of knights looking to, well, rebuild and find a way to get their economy going again. We can see a couple of wolves here. The wolves are, I think, perhaps going to dive in. Well, a round of shots. The knights do need to retreat back here, hold position, try and keep this town hall going, and start mining back up in the center. All right.
A player's forces are under attack.
Meanwhile, FoCuS and LawLiet need to come up with a strategy to actually be able to venture forth. It looks like FoCuS is going to try and get as much experience on his heroes, get them up to level 5, and then perhaps with level 5 heroes be able to push out. And meanwhile, creeping is happening everywhere as well. Paladin going to pick up, I think, Gauntlets of Ogre Strength +3, and now the Mortar teams could try and take down the Ursa Warriors off to the north. Shadow Hunter gets up to level 4 as well, as the Owl Scout is, well, just scouting out that northern spot. Furbolg is get cleaned up here. Another Shaman gets taken down. There's a little bit of a stomp right there as the Ursa Warrior will get taken down. It is going to be a spiked caller, so mana burn is going to be on the battlefield into that Fell Beast, being able to perhaps shut down some of those enemy heroes as well. Alright, Shaman taken down. Level 5 Farseer, level 4 Shadow Hunter. Coming back through. Farms being placed down as well in order to, well, free up enough supply to actually start training up additional workers. And once that happens, well, what is this peasant doing? Where is he going? Oh, there he goes. Trying to build barracks. All right. Trying to rebuild everything from the ground up. These barracks were lost as we're now looking at troll bat riders well, with liquid fire trying to burn down the buildings. All right. Who's able to force a fight better? That is the question. There's no flying machines anymore. There were some at some point, so these shadow wolves could end up in being able to walk around dangerously and perhaps take down a couple of these peasants. All right, are they gonna get exposed? There they go. Wolves down to 162 hit points. They're gonna get resummoned away as the fly machine wants to keep overhead here. We do have 3-1 upgrades on these riflemen, coupled with the Kodo Beasts and also the True Shot Aura. So this is about 4.5 up in terms of upgrades as the, well, Bat Riders are now burning down more buildings as Romantic does need the supply that those farms are providing in order to train up more units again. So once more upside down on supply here, needs to train up a little bit more again. All right. The harassment power of Orc being shown here on full display. 50 over 61. Troll Bat Riders could easily perhaps try and go down these units. Are we going to see some purges and some ensnares? Where's the ensnares? There's the ensnares trying to take down some of those units. The troll, well, the shamans have to be a little bit careful. They're going to take quite a bit of damage here from these units as there's a battle raging on from the far side here. One shaman getting taken down. The raiders will need to ensnare again to try and finish off these units as the troll bat riders just find their targets. There's 2 ensnares once more trying to shut down these units as the mountain giants coming across to engage. Meanwhile, Blademaster, well, doing a fight here. We see that Fell Beast being able to do a little bit of mana burn, healing wave bouncing around, and this is a split fight. The human army is not here, and now finally going to show up a little bit late. This is going to go very well for FoCuS and LawLiet until the Paladin, Blood Mage, and Rifleman show up to the party, and now it's going to be a tactical retreat. There goes a Troll Bat Rider. That gets taken down. Staff of Preservation heal, but now that means that the raiders are now exposing the far side of the far side. There's a Scroll of Town Portal. The hit and run tactics just coming in heavy. No, and not a Scroll of Town Portal, just a Staff of Teleportation, just banishing all the units as much as possible. As we're going to see perhaps a raider get taken out. That banish seemingly lasting such a long time. Repairs are going to be needed, and another raider going to get lost here. All right, so 2 raiders could get taken down, perhaps even 3 or 4. Is it going to be enough? Raider after raider is going to be gone. These peasants cannot repair. It's now holding on 109 hit points, and it stays alive. Repairs are still underway here. 140 hit points, waiting for that one raider to end up getting taken out. Meanwhile, battle happening across on the other side. Sorry, not keeping track of all of the action. So much to keep track of. That town hall so incredibly important as that Blood Mage gets to level 5. All right. Town Hall. Rifleman, there's an upgrade here. Rifleman sees these wolves trying to dive in. The wolves, well, are they going to be able to finish it off? We're going to see a Holy Light save any of those peasants. And, well, wolves get resummoned again. 54 over 36 supply. And, well, needing to get more farms in order to protect this Town Hall. All right, are more units getting trained up? 28 over 61 supply. Shadow Hunter going to get resurrected. The Troll Bat Riders are still flying around looking to poke apart all of Starbuck's buildings. And a base race in a 2v2 game where, well, Romantic has the opportunity to try and get a bit more gold. It needs to find a way to do it, though. Is there only one worker? Nope, there's another guy right there. All right. Alright, here we are, here we go. In comes the engagement. Owl Scout gonna quickly resummon right there. Again, meanwhile, Blade Master, he's gonna try to dive in onto some of these peasants, make sure that they're not doing that long distance mining, as the Blade Masters are just keeping track, making sure it is long distance mining only.
The town is under siege.
Alright, 54 over 48 supply. Well, sitting at 37 gold now. Remember, he is at low upkeep, which makes it very awkward to try and rebuild from the ground up, only getting 7 gold per trip on those peasants. Paladin now trying to fall back here. The mortar teams, riflemen, don't see those wolves off to the side. No arcane sanctum to get that true sight from that arcane tower. And that fly machine does spot all of this, though. Wolves going to try to dive on in. Are we going to see a holy light? That peasant able to retreat through and now trying to finish off some of these targets. Meanwhile, a little bit of a pincer play with smaller units. There's a forked lightning as the peasants need to continue to mine. There's a healing wave, and they're going to try and stay alive in the back again. All right. The flying machine gonna catch, yes, does catch that wolf here. This town hall back up to 150, or now showing 156 gold, trying to mine a little bit more and will protect all of these units still. These two workers making a lasting impact. These, well, all of these peons trying to make that long trek all the way to the nearest gold mine, pick it up, and then drop it back off. 64 gold. Yeah, thank you. Nice to catch you live. Thank you, Dave Holder. It's 2 a.m. in Australia. Wow. Well, at that point, I don't know whether to say good night or good morning. All right. Wolves ready to dive in again. More peasants trying to get added in as well. Those units quickly going to get spotted. Flying machine making sure to keep these peasants very well protected. Paladin nearby. Remember that devotion aura offering another layer of protection as well. And while we're seeing that 54 over 48 supply, even after this farm is done, another one will need to be built in order to break the supply cap. Yeah, 54 over 54 right now. Needs another farm in order to train up more peasants. Perhaps build a farm across here to add a little bit more protection. All right. 164. This is kind of just long and drawn out right now. 54 supply army for Romantic. Starbuck, I don't know, since I don't have a building to click on to keep track of all of this. As the mirror images are trying to stop these peons, the heroes are here personally escorting the long distance walk of shame to get more gold back. Alright. Are we at now finally at 55 over 60 supply? More gold can be had. Romantic's going to be able to start establishing this base here. A lot of scouting going on. We can see that LawLiet is actually creeping out on the far side of the map here. Dark Troll Berserkers, the last creep camp on the map. Is it going to give any additional levels? No, it is not. 4-3 on the Naga Sea Witch and that Priestess of the Moon. Now, remember, each of these mountain giants, 8 supply, so 24 plus 15, 39 supply in just these 5 units. So that is still rather impressive as the units are going to try to engage here. All right, this could potentially be a problem. Both sides going to dive. There's a holy light there, and we see damage racking up. All right, Keeper of the Grove getting hexed. Units trying to retreat back. Are we perhaps going to see a couple of purges go down as we see another hex go down onto that Keeper of the Grove? Keeper of the Grove gets stabbed to preservation back to his friend's house. Book of the Dead now being used. There's a fork lightning, but only attacking one as the mountain giants going to go ahead and pick up. All right, in comes some damage. Riflemen going to try to make their way through. Going to be difficult to finish some of these things off. Paladin sitting at level 5 still. We're going to be looking at some of the wolves perhaps as we're looking at siphon mana back into that Paladin here. Perhaps some repairs are going to be needed. Flying machine does spot those wolves here. Kodo Beast offering a bit of protection as the Troll Bat Rider is going to go ahead and dive onto the flying machine. That Troll Bat Rider purposely diving onto the flying machine means that those Shadow Wolves are no longer going to be revealed. Meanwhile, both sides are still engaging across here, and those Shadow Wolves are going to become a big problem. There's a little bit of healing wave bouncing around again, and still fighting its way through. The Knights going to try and take down some of these Mountain Giants, but the Knights do not have the Sundering Blades to deal even more bonus damage. Healing wave bouncing back around once more. We're at 56 over 60 supply. At some point, we will need a lumber as well in order to start building buildings and getting more going here. All right. Arcane Tower. One attack from the Wolf is pretty much going to reveal it, and or two attacks from the Wolf pretty much going to reveal it and then get it destroyed by that Arcane Tower here. All right, Riflemen. Perhaps they're going to try and get in front here. This is going to be a tough spot. There's not that much mana. Riflemen trying to get in front here. Are they going to be able to shoot at all of these units trying to run by? Blood Mage coming across here. That Mortar team going to quickly get banished, but by getting banished, he ends up taking more damage. They're finally breaking free. Both sides still attacking. Riflemen continuing to shoot their way through here. Staff of Preservation has been absolutely clutch throughout this match, as the Mountain Giants are now trying to retreat back once more. All right, Paladin, Blood Mage making their way through. Entangle onto the Knight here. There's a Scroll of Town Portal, a little bit of a tactical retreat. Where are they going? As the Troll Bat Riders and the Shadow Wolves cleaning up a couple of those peasants once again. 43 supply or 43 lumber needs to get perhaps another farm here or something to reveal those Shadow Wolves. The Shadow Wolves now diving in onto the Mortar team, and the Mortar team going to get cleaned up here. All right, a little bit of damage over time, finishing the job there. Shadowhunter with dual orbs of venom. Now, FoCuS was able to set up an expansion here, and now he's going to be able to start mining back. Remember, he also collected a lot of gold or lumber earlier on, so he's actually in a fairly decent spot. Now, Romantic needs to shut down this mining operation. Otherwise, they're going to end up falling further and further behind. But he does have a small squadron back at home to try and protect these workers. Shadowhunter does have an invul potion, but he's not going to be able to use it if he's hexed. Down to 140, down to 108. Gets taken down at level 4. The hex from the Shadowhunter preventing the Shadowhunter from using that invul potion and staying alive. Meanwhile, units coming back around. Blood Mage going to show up. Staff of Teleportation. Now perhaps a couple of banishes kind of finish things off, trying to remove precious mana. Staff of Preservation saves, try and banish some of those units again. Blood Mage ends up falling. Romantic loses his Blood Mage, and the Riflemen are trying to shoot their way through. All right, it looks like the Expo was taken down. Mountain Giants could end up getting lost here. Paladin not close enough to level 6 to perhaps try and resurrect. As we're looking at the Mountain Giant trying to retreat back here. I don't think I've actually seen a solo Blade Master 4 units surround anything ever. That would be absolutely amazing. A Blade Master with mirror image being able to focus down a Mountain Giant like that and burst it down. We're looking at 45 over 60 supply now. Peasants collecting lumber as well. No more mining. FoCuS, I believe, has lost a number or all of his peons here. Well, nope, still has one peon out on the battlefield to try and slowly collect enough resources. Even though the Shadowhunter and the Blood Mage have been taken out. Yeah. Farseer, Shadowhunter, making their way off to the north again. Blade Master's mirror image continuing to catch things. All right, there goes an Entangle. Mountain Giant staying alive. Paladin trying to get some lasting damage onto some of those other units. Both sides fighting. Riflemen and Shamans seem to be in a weird scramble. Not quite sure where to go. LawLiet and FoCuS's units are able to engage, but with units falling, you now see level 6 on the Blade Master, so Blade Master could be able to dive even further. All right, there's a taunt here. Shadowhunter could try to go for a hex, but not quite sure which one is the real target, as well, they're still making their way through. All right, repairs could be needed. That one peasant should be repairing there. Both sides still fighting, and Knight's gonna try and dive on in here. Paladin could try and, well, perhaps try and Holy Light. No more Blood Mage, so the Paladin's mana is actually getting dangerously low as we see the Farseer come in from behind to snipe down a Knight. Farseer at 5.5 now. as we're still looking at these mirror images chasing away the Farseer and that Shadow Hunter. Blade Master still could be in trouble. There's a Holy Light, and now the Blade Master could be in trouble, down to 600 hit points. He's taking quite a bit of a beating. Entangle onto a Knight. That's another taken down. Blade Storm now trying to come online, trying to, well, slice and dice all of the units through the center. All of the heroes split up in order to get away, only to see them focus down the individual units on those army again. The Paladin has not been able to keep this army together. Kodo Beast trying to finish things off, but no, the Shadow Wolf able to stop attacking and then engage, well, disengage peacefully. All right, are we going to see some chomping onto a Shadow Wolf right there? Blacksmith now trying to get trained up. The Blade Master going after a Mountain Giant off on the far side, but it looks like the heroes of LawLiet may be too much. LawLiet and FoCuS continuing with that pressure here. Blood Mage slowly getting resurrected after the Altar of Elders. Even the wildlife is in danger in this battlefield, as everything is in trouble. All right, Kodo Beast slowly getting strangled to death by that Entangle here. Meanwhile, repairs getting underway. Blood Mage trying to get resurrected, and bunch of low hit point peasants. Level 5 now on the Naga Sea Witch, as the Naga Sea Witch can just start lobbing attacks here. Blood Mage may not be able to make it back out onto the battlefield, even though it is so incredibly close. Bunch of low hit point units trying to retreat back away. Blade Master isn't going to be able to get the Shadow Hunter. Shadow Hunter down to 78 hit points. One more shot, and no, it looks like it will be able to break free right there. The Paladin going to try to get in front, and level 6 now on the Paladin. All right, so level 6 Paladin, Entangle on the Blade Master. There's some more taunts trying to finish things off. Paladin continuing to fight its way through. I don't know if there's any units to try and resurrect. Blood Mage could perhaps give some mana to the Paladin here as they're trying to make their way back down. Losing that Shadow Hunter is going to be a big deal. Keeper of the Grove not close enough to level 6 to Fort Tranquility, as we're looking at the Shadow Wolves once more trying to dive in and take down some of those precious peasants. All right, that peasant down to 30 hit points. No, down to dead, as the Shadow Wolf stopped that attack temporarily. Meanwhile, diving inside of the main base here, Keeper of the Grove about to fall. Naga Sea Witch, well, does fall right there. Blade Master still trying to chase after all those units. A Wisp blocking the entrance as they're trying to get single file through the door. All right, so the Watchtower is continuing to cause a little bit of problems and a little bit of a split there. This is a game of ring around the Watchtower. Apparently, Blood Mage going to get some damage here. 1-2 more shots. Blood Mage ends up falling. Blood Mage gets up to level 6, now has access to a Phoenix, and that is going to be the game. Starbuck and Romantic able to outlast in not a base race 2v2, but a definitely limited resource match. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.